before the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest? Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Before Nashville, where we introduce the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. Tonight, you're going to enjoy the show. This guy, I'm going to be honest. He's a big guy. He's a little burly, might scare you a little bit, but I think he's just a teddy bear from what I've talked to him so far. He's just a down-home fella. And we're going to talk to him coming up here in 30 seconds, and you'll have to wait till then for me to tell you who it is.
Before Nashville is proudly sponsored by Go-Go Tuners, the go-to tuner for professional and amateur musicians. Get your Go-Go Tuner at gogotuners.com. By Heart to Heart Coffee, the coffee that gives back. Find out more at heart2heartcoffee.com. By Cibby's Apparel, worn by heroes, made with respect. Order yours at cibby'sapparel.com. And by Three Rangers Whiskey, not for the weak or faint-hearted. ThreeRangers.com.
All right, big shout out to the sponsors. Thank them for helping us get this thing on the air tonight. And tonight I've got this fella that is joining me. And this is the first time we've actually talked outside of some communication on Facebook and Instagram. Well, Instagram more than anything. But he's got some great music, and we'll talk about that. It is Dan Wallace. Dan, hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, glad to do it, man. So, I got to tell you this. I don't know if Brian's on yet or not, but he sent me a text today, and he said, Dave is really excited.
Yeah.
And I texted him back, and I said, Dave? I said, Dave who? And he goes, Dave, the guy you got on tonight. And I go, his name is Dan, jackass.
I'm going to have to get on him for that one.
Yeah. Tell him, if you're going to throw my name around, make sure you throw in the right name.
Right. He did tell me to ask you, what's in that cup you drink? Is that Three Rangers whiskey?
It's actually Heart to Heart coffee. I have not put Three Rangers in it yet. Yet.
Yes, I got it.
Doesn't mean I won't.
Right. Okay.
It's either one of those two things I'm drinking. As a matter of fact, here, let's just go ahead and spike that up real quick.
There you go.
Right in hand. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little coffee in your whiskey.
That's how you give some love to your sponsor right there, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. Got to smell the cork. Here we go. Yeah. May have been a little bit more than a shot, but that's okay.
I might have to pour some Buckeye vodka in my cup over here for my sponsors over there. So got to give them some love.
Load them up. Load them up. There you go. Now, since I poured it, I got to drink it, so.
There you go.
Boy, that makes a coffee taste good. Oh, man, I've even been experimenting between it and coffee this past weekend. So got a little concoction I came up with, but I have to get the name of it copyrighted or at least get it trademarked first.
There you go.
Hear any of it and make some money off of it.
What'd you call
it? Dan, if I tell you, I got to shoot you.
I got you. One of those deals, huh?
Yeah, but boy, it sure tastes a good Sunday morning. I'll tell you, my wife even got mad at me because I made me one. I didn't make her one.
Yeah, I get it. I love whiskey too, brother.
Man, there's nothing like it. I got to get a hold of my sponsors and tell them I need another bottle. I think this one's about half full. I had a little bit of one upstairs, and once that's all gone, Mama's not going to be happy.
Yeah.
And if Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. We know how that goes.
That's a fact. That's a fact. My wife is watching right now, so I got to be careful what I say. So,
yeah, don't tell me, Courtney.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Hi, Courtney. And just a quick reminder, since we got some people chiming in, if you get on Facebook or on YouTube, you can send us a message. You got a question you want Dan to answer, as long as it's clean and something the kids can hear, then go right ahead, or something his wife doesn't know about and probably don't want to share with her.
Oh,
she'll be the first one to chime in. I've already got you in the doghouse.
I'm in trouble already, buddy.
All right, show's over. I completed my task. Y'all have a great night. So tell me a little bit about Dan growing up, man.
Well, growing up, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I grew up on the south side of Columbus. Up until about high school, my freshman year, my parents, we moved out to a place called Somerset. They're here in Ohio, and it's down in southeast Ohio, down by Zanesville, if anybody's familiar with that. But so I kind of got the best of both worlds. I grew up in the south side of the city, but my family came over from southern West Virginia in McDowell County. So, my family, bunch of hillbillies, and that's where my roots come from, so yeah, that was I kind of got the best of both worlds in the city and the country, and I don't think I'd change it for the world. So
Yeah. Well, how old were you when the music bug bit you?
I've always loved music, but it wasn't until I think my senior year of high school, after I graduated, I decided to get me a guitar with my graduation money. And I got me a book, taught myself how to play, and just kind of bit me then, and started writing music, and the fire hasn't stopped yet. So, but I didn't really start playing out till maybe 8-9 years ago.
Oh.
If that even, I think that might even be a little too much, but I got a daughter that's had some medical problems, and just time wouldn't allow for it. So, but thankfully everything's good now, and I was able to get out, start playing music, and now here I am.
Yeah. Who were some of the people that kind of influenced you growing up with your music?
Man, Keith Whitley's a big influence on my music. I'm very old school, traditional. Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Hank Williams Sr. My grandfather used to listen to old Hank Sr. and Patsy Cline on repeat in the summers when I'd stay with my grandparents, and I think that kind of sparked the fire for me with my love for country music.
I'm good with all of them. Love Keith Whitley. Man, I love Keith Whitley.
Yeah.
Oh, just the voice that the guy had, and then the
greatest songwriter, man. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was a fantastic songwriter that was taken way too soon. But
yeah,
things happen, and life has to go on, and that's kind of the way it is.
Right.
So you got a guitar, you start playing, didn't play out for, like you said, just a few years ago. Do you remember the first place you played out at?
Yeah, I do. My first gig was actually in a small town called Carroll, Ohio, a place called the Barrel, I think it's Barrel and Burgers or something like that, in Carroll. Just a little small hole in the wall that some of the locals used to tell me George Jones had stopped in there a time or two at some point years ago. And so it was a cool little spot. But yeah, I remember that gig like it was yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And then now that I look back at it, it's like, wow, I got videos from that night, and man, it was rough. It sounded rough, but
I started to ask you if you ever go back and look at those, and I'm guessing you have a time or two.
Yeah, it's like, man, what is my guitar out of tune? What was I thinking? But it was a great time, man. It was a cool little honky tonk bar, and great people, and yeah, I wouldn't take it back for the world. It was a hell of a time.
Yeah, those are the best places. I like the little dive bar places, little honky tonk dive bars, man. I tell you, no better crowds than the ones that are in there.
No, you get it's not a good night unless a fight pops off somewhere,
Exactly.
That's how you know you're in a good place.
Right. It wasn't one of them had the chicken wire in front of the stage type places, was it?
No. But that's a true story, man. I remember a night that I was playing in that bar, and it might have been the second or third time I was playing there, and there was a commotion going on, and my wife's over there chuckling now. I can just see her, but the fight, this little scuffle broke out, and all these people all started rushing outside. And next thing I see is my wife. She goes out there. She wants to watch and be nosy. And I stopped mid-song, put my guitar down. I had to go out there and say my 2 cents and pull my wife back in. But
Right.
But yeah, that's a cool place, man.
Yeah, well, you see a lot of guys do that nowadays. They'll do it on stage, man. They'll stop a show if they're in a big arena. They'll stop a show and they just, chew them out and tell them, if y'all want to fight, take it outside, and the next thing you know, you got security escorting them out,
Yeah. Yep. That's right. I love
so I guess, with that philosophy, that makes a good concert for them. So I guess they enjoy that.
True. Yeah. Well,
so do you remember the first song that you ever wrote?
Yeah, it was like a little love song and I don't even know where it came from, man, to be honest. It was just a first song that I just decided to pick up and try to write something. And I think it might have been a verse long with one chorus or something. but yeah, it was, I remember the song. I think that, hell, I could probably go back and, now that you bring that up, I could probably go back and record that thing, maybe add to it, and it had some good bones, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I usually ask on that one is, do you, if you've listened to your first song, have you ever thought about recording it? And a lot of people say no, it was just too bad. And I'm like, but go forward your career now, you can change that.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if it's got a good foundation, you could always rearrange some things and add to it and take away, so yeah, I might just do that.
Well, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that one, or ear out, I guess I should say. Now, do you do any co-writing, or are you just a solo writer?
I've I've been a solo writer up to probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. The guys in my band right now, I got a couple guys that love to write and that are really good musicians, really good writers. My buddy Ryan Bushong and I, we just wrote a couple tunes together, and one's called "Shooting for the Moon," and the one we're working on now, we're cutting a demo for. And my guitar player Logan Addis, he's a hell of a writer too, and we're just kind of putting things together and co-writing some music, and it's really coming out nice. And I've never done that before, so it's it's kind of a nice change of pace to have other ears, and to be able to say this sounds good, this doesn't, or let's add this, let's take this away, or so yeah, I've always written solo up until recently, and I'm kind of digging the co-writing thing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. What do you like so much about the co-writing?
Just the collaboration of like-minded guys, and they might have different styles, which Ryan is more of a Americana blues style, and then you got Logan. When we write, he loves that traditional country and can pick the hell out of a telly, but at the same time he's got that blues background too. And when you collaborate different styles like that, it really comes out in the music, and I'm loving what we're coming up with, so yeah, I'd say the styles coming together to make a unique sound.
Right. After talking about your influences, what is one song that you haven't written but you've heard and you think to yourself, damn, why didn't I write that?
You mean any song that I've heard?
Any song at all.
Man, I'm the biggest Jamie Johnson fan you're gonna find, so I'd say probably In Color.
Oh my goodness. Brian,
that's just one of those. Yeah, that's just one of those songs, man, that everybody can relate to, and looking at pictures through black and white of your grandparents, and the whole story behind that song, and him saying, man, you should have seen it in color, trying to tell that story. And it's just one of those emotional kind of songs that kind of pulls at your heartstrings. And so, yeah, I'd definitely say In Color would be that one.
Great song. Great song. Uh, you're familiar with Freedom Jam. I've talked about it a few times on here, and I know you're familiar with it from talking with Brian. And In Color was a song in 2020 when we did Freedom Jam that they did in kind of in the round. I mean, it was fully instrumental, but it was just all these artists were up there singing that song, and man alive, you talk about chills going up and down your spine. Holy cow,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable.
Everywhere I've played that song, George, it's just, people get their phones out, turn on their flashlights, and you look across a wave of people and a wave of flashlights, and it's just like, wow, people know every word of that song, and it's just one of those that the crowd gets into.
Yeah, you can stop singing and just let them do it, and they can carry it on perfect.
That's right. Yeah.
So, what do you feel like is unique about your music and your sound that draws your audience to it? And I'm probably going to have some folks chime in here what they think, and if they want to, that's great. But what do you personally feel like makes your music so unique that people just want to run and listen to it?
Well, it's never been a secret, man. People know how I feel about country music and, my traditional roots and, my feelings on maybe some stuff on the radio today. We won't get into that, but, I've always been genuine in how I feel and what I feel. And I feel like people connect to, somebody just being genuine and I'm real. I write about things that have happened to me. And I think that as long as you come through as being, genuine, being authentic, I think that I would say that's probably the big one.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about that is on the way home, I had an artist friend of mine call me and we were talking, and that was one of the things we were talking about and how country music, we went through that bro country and then it got into pop country. And then now it's starting to circle back around into that traditional sound where you've got people like Hardy and you got Lainey Wilson and you got, Cody Johnson and Cody Jinks and, gosh, who were some of the other ones we said? We had a whole bunch, Drew Parker and Parker McCollum, and, a lot of those guys, they're going back to that more traditional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's catching on so good that it's just amazing. I mean, and I love it. I mean, I love that stuff.
Right. I'm with you, man. 100%, and you're right. It's coming back full circle. I've had I've had musician friends told me before I started playing out, I was telling them, that I had plans to go start playing out and playing my music, and that, I was going to stick to my traditional roots and play all your traditional songs, your older country. And I've had people tell me, man, it's not going to go anywhere. People don't want to hear that stuff, man. I'll tell you what, I may not have the teenagers and 20-year-olds at my shows, but I can tell you that all your 30, 40s, 50s, 60s and up, they're all drinking, having a damn good time. So
yeah, they are.
And that's what it's all about.
That's one of the fun things that I love about that music because it's timeless. I mean, and you summed it up because one of the things that this buddy of mine were saying, was people are itching for that authenticity, and all these artists I mentioned, I mean, they write stuff that is just authentic, even, Hardy talking about, one of my favorite songs by him is Give Heaven Some Hell. And I had a promoter buddy of mine, a record promoter buddy of mine. He was an older guy, probably in his 70s, and he passed away right as that song came out. And man alive, I met him one time and he was about 5'3", long hair, fringy leather jacket, but he was a Cajun.
Yeah.
And we would talk for hours. Even when I was out of work from radio for a little bit, he would call me once a week and we just talk and talk and talk. and that song came out, and the line that I remembered in there so much, and I can't quote it verbatim right now, but it's where he's talking about um, like there's something about speeding down the road or something about his tires or something. Anyway, this buddy of mine always talked about his old Cuda that he had, that he had fixed up, and told me about driving 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, and stuff like that, even at 70 years old. And it was
Right.
like, that is his story in a song.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've yet to meet Hardy to share that with him. But man, I just thought, golly, that's country.
That's right. It's all in how you connect with a song, man. You connect with a song, and it can hit you a certain way, and that sounds like that's what that one did for you, And Hardy has a song that I like, that's "Wait in the Truck."
Yeah, my wife loves
Wilson. That's a fantastic song, and I love the message behind it, and and that's what it's all about. I mean, country music's telling a story. I think that people talk about being country and what is being country. Is it how you dress? Is it how you act? No, I think it's a lifestyle. It's a you can't just fake it. I mean, you either got it or you don't. You know what I mean? I think you embody that lifestyle, and that comes out in Hardy's music.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's all in an attitude, it's the attitude, and quite honestly, how you were raised. I mean, I'm not saying people from New York can't be country, and I'm not talking about the city, not the state, but if you just have to have that attitude and that mindset, and that there's so many things that country embodies, and you've got to have some of that in the whole thing to be country.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Family, faith, country. You don't have to go out and hunt. I haven't hunted in probably 15 years, but I'm still country.
Right. That's right, man.
You'll forever be country.
That's right.
So it's just one of those things I just love about the music and the authenticity. Like you said, as long as they're authentic, that's what people are dying for nowadays. We're all tired of fakes.
Right. Right.
We see them every day on TV, in the news, read about them in the paper, all that stuff. And people just want real.
That's right. You want to, I think that draws you to an artist when you listen to a song. If you can connect with that song and they deliver it in a way that it's believable, and that you can believe that they went through that, people connect to that.
Yeah. And I mean, your new, I guess is it a full length album?
It's a 5-song EP.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-65 is what it's called. And great. Every song on there, man, I've been listening to it, and it's just some fantastic stuff. And we're going to play one here in a minute, and we'll talk about it and kind of get the backstory. I already know what it is because I've read the bio,
right.
But share with everybody else. But if you could go on tour with any two bands, who would it be?
Ooh, is that musicians that are alive still, or can that be anybody?
It doesn't matter. Any bands whatsoever.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm a big blues guy too, and I think that a mixture of Jamie Johnson and Stevie Ray Vaughan, for me, I mean that would do it for me. So
yeah,
I would pick those two.
That's good ones, I'll tell you, because SRV, man, he's one of those two that I just have enjoyed his music for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you got the call, you're heading out on tour with Stevie Ray and Jamie, and you got bus call at 5:00 in the morning. So you're going to have packed tonight. So first off, you're going to be in a rush, but you're going to have to put some essential things in there. What are 3 essentials that you have to have when you go on the road?
Oh man. Well, underwear. No, obviously changed clothes and my toothbrush, toothpaste, and I can't go without that, man. And my guitar. I think I'd be ready to go.
I think I'd have to take toilet paper because I just about shot coffee and Three Rangers right out of my nose.
Oh man. Yeah, I'd have to have those things, and then obviously a guitar. But I think that's all I would need.
Yeah, I love Todd's here, and I'm going to kind of make fun of him. Todd must be a buddy of yours, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he's part of my team. What's
Wild
up,
Turkey
Todd?
Chew Guitar. I've never heard of a Wild Turkey Chew Guitar before, Todd, but hey, we'll take it.
He knows me well, man. He knows I love Wild Turkey. I gotta have my Grizzly and my guitar. So that's a good guess. But I'd be up there playing naked with a chew in my mouth.
Yeah, and people might not want to see that. I don't know. I'm not picking on
I don't think so, man. I don't think they want to see that, brother. I mean, the guitar might cover it up a little bit, but
it's going to cover up the most important part anyway.
Right, exactly. Be like that. What's that naked singing cowboy out in New York?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
Oh, my gosh. Looks like Todd is he a fireman?
He is a retired firefighter. Yes.
Retired firefighter. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't PC on that. I said fireman instead of firefighter, but I'm sorry for all you ladies that are in firefighting. I apologize. Todd, thank you for your service, my friend. We appreciate it.
He's a good dude.
Let me see here, because I just looked at my questions and I got one of them on here twice. I don't know why I did that. I know what I want to, talk about in my head, but sometimes I got to follow these, and some of them I just love. So if I were to access the playlist on your iPhone, okay, I have to be careful because some people say I don't want you accessing my phone because of something you might see. I don't want to see it. So if I accessed your playlist on your iPhone, what are the top 10 songs that you've been listening to?
Oh man, the top 10 songs. I was listening to hell out of some George Jones today, so I'd say probably the Grand Tour, Choices. You'd hear some Marshall Tucker band in there, some Can't You See, Texas Flood. You hear some Never Call Me By My Name, some David Allen Coe.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the Eagles today, some Take It Easy, Lion Eyes, and then of course, Jamie, man. I don't know if there's a day that goes by I don't listen to Jamie Johnson. I know you're probably getting tired of hearing his name, but
you could sit there and say Jamie Johnson for the whole hour and I wouldn't get tired of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you'd hear a mixture of some good old country and some good classic rock. And that'd probably be it.
Yeah. I got to tell you one thing that kind of drew me to you when I was listening to your music, because you got a song on there called, hang on. What's it called? I can't believe I forgot it. It's as soon as I see it, I'm gonna feel really stupid. Fast Cars and Fast Living.
Yeah.
But the one thing that you mentioned that drew me to that, because kind of where we have a connection, is Bob Seger.
Yeah.
And it's kind of reminiscent of Bob Seger a little bit, it's just kind of got that, rock and roll never forgets type of feel, a little bit on the rock side and stuff. And
man,
I'm good Seger,
Well, and the story behind that song is, I wrote that for a friend of mine. He had cancer, and I played a benefit for him. And he come up afterwards. He asked me, he said, "Can you write me a song called Fast Cars, Fast Women?" so I did it that night. I sent it to him the next day, and he loved it. And it was that same song, except the lyrics were you know, if you're going to try and get it played anywhere, it probably ain't going to go over real well. So when I went to record it, you know, the guys down, my producer, Rob McNelly, he was like, well, we might want to restructure that a little bit. And so I went through, changed some words, and Fast Cars, Fast Living, and it turned out great. And the reason that it has that Bob Seger feel was, so I don't know if you know or not, but Rob McNelly played lead guitar for Bob. And
Yep.
so, you know, you'll hear some licks in there that sound real familiar, and it has that kind of Springfield, or Springfield, Springsteen, and, you know, Bob Seger kind of feel to it. So
two of my favorites right there, Springsteen and Bob Seger.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into vinyl lately, and so I've been on the hunt for one particular Seger album that has eluded me, and I don't know why, because I'm sure it's out there. I mean, I know it's out there, but I just cannot find it in my local record stores. And I really don't want to buy it off of eBay, because you never know what you're going to get. But, I'll find it. And this is, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, figure out this last name, because I guarantee you I will kill it. Not in a good way.
Gary Berkwin.
Gary Berkwin.
That's my good buddy Gary. Yeah.
Says you kill it when you play Turn the Page. Turn the Page is my ultimate Bob Seger song.
Yeah, it's a great tune, man. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, it's my favorite by far.
Oh man. And I mean, I'm not a big metalhead guy, but I love the Metallica version too.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they pretty much keep everything true to the way Seger did it, as far as the you know, the melody and the instrumentals and stuff. Right. You know, they get kind of out there with the guitars a little bit, but they're Metallica, you know. So
yeah, it's just a little heavier, but I like what they did with it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just, when I first heard that song, I just kept going back to it. I mean, unfortunately I have a you know, like a skip backward button on my steering wheel on my truck, and I think I may have broken it tonight by going back on that song. I'll have to find out tomorrow. But I do. I tried to listen to everything, but I got to that one. I got to listen to it. So I probably listened to it 3 or 4 times on the way to work, and then probably another 3 times tonight on the way home.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you.
You know, you got about a 30 to 45 minute drive. I get a lot of music in that time. So
right.
Just love it. But so I mean, that's one of the things that I like. I mean, when I heard that Bob Seger reference, and I thought, yeah, this guy's already one of my favorites, because he's a Seger guy, you know.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff, man. I grew up, like I said, you know, with old school country on my mom's side, and then with my dad on his side, it was always listening, and to classic rock, and your Zeppelin and Boston and all that good stuff, man. So got the best of both worlds there.
Absolutely, man. A lot of good stuff. And I'm a country guy, but the second biggest format country people listen to is classic rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask you this one, simply because I'm curious to see what it would be. When you're getting ready for a show, and Courtney, you can chime in here, and not that I'm giving you permission, but you chime in. When you're getting ready for a show, what takes you the longest to get ready? Is it your pre-gaming? Is it you got to pick out the right hat? Is it the beard? Got to do the beard oil, all that stuff, make it look good. Picking out what clothes you're going to wear that night, tuning your guitar.
Man, it doesn't take me long to get ready. I throw some jeans on, my button up, and a hat. So, as far as that goes, it's probably prepping my gear, to be honest with you. Getting gear ready and packed up and all that. I'd say definitely that. But as far as getting ready, man, I can jump up with 10 minutes to go, jump in the shower and get dressed real quick. I'm ready to go.
Make it there in plenty of time. Yep.
Oh
Kim
yeah.
says it's your beard, so apparently Kim might know you a little bit.
Yeah, that's my mother-in-law. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I do baby my beard a little bit.
Hey, if I had a beard like that, I'd be babying it too. That's about all I can do, and you see what happens.
Yeah. Well,
I've even threatened to color it, with some of that comb color stuff, and my wife's like, "No, you're not."
Courtney was giving me all kinds of hell there earlier. I had her get on and make sure my headphones were going to work for this, and I did a FaceTime with her. She goes, "You can see the gray in your beard." I thought, like my gray.
Hey, here's what you do when it comes. Here's what you do when it comes to the gray, especially if your kids say something about it.
Yeah.
You just tell them every one of them is because of you.
Yeah.
So be
Oh,
proud
I
of it.
do. I do all the time. I named them. I said, "This is you. This is you."
Yeah, I don't have that many kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got 3 of them. Yeah. So they just multiply, all
Yeah.
over.
I hear you. I hear you. So, but man, I tell you, it's just um, if you could go back in time, say, I don't know, 15 years.
Okay.
I know you'd only been 14 at the time, but 15 years.
I'm a little older than that, man. Come on now.
But if you went back 15 years and gave yourself advice, what would it be?
Ooh. Um, in the music business, you're saying?
Yeah.
I'd say, man, just beware of who you deal with. And I'm not just saying every bar owner's like that or every venue or, but you got to kind of make sure you know your worth and know who you're dealing with. And I mean, there's going to be people that try to lowball you and try to, get something for nothing. And so I guess my advice to 24-year-old me would be, just be very cautious of who you work with. So.
Mm-hmm. That's good advice. Anybody out there
Yeah.
that's in the going into the music business, there you go.
Right.
I still got a lot more questions to ask, but I got to get to this song first and foremost, because this song is kind of haunting, but the story behind it makes it less haunting. I mean, the music's kind of haunting and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to it, I heard some things that I'll share after we hear the song, because I don't want to convolute the waters, so to speak, right now. Right. So I'm gonna take a quick 30-second break. We're gonna play the sponsors, and then we're gonna bring Dan back on and let him tell us about this song after we hear it. So you guys stick around. We'll be back here in just 30 seconds.
b4Nashville is proudly sponsored by Go-Go Tuners, the go-to tuner for professional and amateur musicians. Get your Go-Go Tuner at gogotuners.com. By Heart to Heart Coffee, the coffee that gives back. Find out more at heart2heartcoffee.com. By Cibby's Apparel, worn by heroes, made with respect. Order yours at cibbysapparel.com. And by Three Rangers Whiskey, not for the weak or faint-hearted. ThreeRangers.com.
Staring out the window, the rain pouring down. I can't help but think of these feelings I found. Wrapped up with you right now, it's easy to see. There's no other place that I'd rather be. Yeah, the lightning is flashing and the thunder's crashing away. You press your lips to mine and move a little closer to me. You got me under your spell, girl, you knock me down to my knees. Come hell or high water, you're the one I turn to. I got everything I need in the shelter with you. Many years later, several storms have come through. They've only made us stronger, draws me closer to you. Been blessed by the grace of God, He's opened our eyes. The dark, stormy days were just blessings in disguise. Yeah, the lightning is flashing and the thunder is crashing away. You press your lips to mine and move a little closer to me. You got me under your spell, girl, you knock me down to my knees. Come hell or high water, you're the one I turn to. I got everything I need in the shelter with you. Yeah, the lightning is flashing and the thunder's crashing away. Place your lips to mine and move a little closer to me. You got me under your spell, girl, you knock me down to my knees. Some hell or high, you're the one I'm turning to. I got everything I need in the shelter with you. I got everything I need in the shelter with you.
All right, that tune is called Shelter. It's by Dan Wallace. If you're just joining us and don't know who we're talking to tonight, we're talking to Dan Wallace. He is from Ohio, and he is a country music singer and does some stuff with some folks down in Nashville. And so, but he's the smart one and does it from long distance. So that's all I'll say about that. So a song called Shelter. I love it. And a lot of comments coming in. Gary, this is what he had to say. First time I ever heard Shelter.
He loves that song.
Yeah. He said it blew him away. And let's see, Ray, he had this to say about it. I'm trying to catch up with these because I tell you, there's a bunch of them come in all at one time.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah. Let's see, Kim, she says, my all-time favorite song.
Thank you.
No bias there, I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
Still giving Todd chills, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Corey or Courtney. Whoops, boy, I blew that. Courtney, sorry. My bad.
Man.
My bad.
I wrote
That's what
that
happens
for
when you don't have your glasses on and the screen's too far away to read the braille.
That's her song. I wrote that. That's about her. So
That's exactly where I was going with that. So you
Yeah.
wrote that song about her. What made you write that particular song?
Well, you know, I wanted to write something for her in particular, and that song just talks about the ups and downs and hard times. We got married young and had kids young, and you know, like I told you, my daughter had some medical issues from birth, and we went through a lot of hard stuff, and you know, with medical things and financially, and just through a lot of stuff, man. And that song just talks about, you know, going through those storms and weathering those storms and coming out on the other end, and we're still chugging. So.
Well, that's always great. I love a good song like that that's got a great story, because that's, you know, I could take that up and play it for my wife, and I think she'd feel the same way and say, "Look, honey, I wrote you a song."
There you go.
And she knows I can't write a song. I can give you a title all day long. You ask me for a title. If you need a title, I can give you a title. But when it comes to writing a song, forget it.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. I actually made an attempt. I came up with a title for a song. I sent a couple of lines to an artist that I work with, and apparently they weren't good enough because she ain't said a damn thing about it.
You tend to get a lot of that too when you're a songwriter. You know, you get a lot of people throwing stuff at you, and hey, man, can you write this song? And, you know, this would be a cool title. And sometimes, you know, you get some good ones and you run with it. But
yeah. I think the one title that I've come up with the last one I came up with, I haven't done a lot of thought about it. Sometimes I'll catch people saying something. I'll say, oh, that'd be a good title for a song. But I think it's probably going to be a little bit more on a kind of a rocky, like a kind of I don't know if it would be a Brantley song, but somewhere along those lines, kind of that Southern rock feel, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm going to have to see if I can find somebody to pen that if they feel like, and if it's not a good title, it ain't going to hurt my feelings. So, you know, I wasn't going to ask for money or, you know, writing credits or anything,
right.
So,
yeah.
But, let's see here. Brian, Freedom Jam, gonna be reaching out for folks to make a road trip and follow Dan to Missouri when he comes. So we got some plans.
I think you meant Dave.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Brian, you meant Dave. Who the hell is Dan? Why do you keep calling him Dan, for crying out loud?
Oh, man. I won't let you live that one down, Brian.
That's an inside joke. And I hate inside jokes, so I'll share that with you. So I get a text from our buddy Brian today, and he was telling me that Dave was all excited about coming on tonight. And I'm like, who the hell is Dave? Who are you talking about? He goes, the guy you got on your show tonight. And I'm going, his name's Dan, jackass.
Oh, man.
And it's like, he's the one that introduced you to me. I mean, he's the one that told me about you. And I'm like, you got that wrong? Not a buddy anymore.
I tell you what, he's a hell of a nice guy. We talked on the phone for the first time, and feels like I've known him for a long time. So
it's all an act.
Yeah. We share a lot of the same interests and, you know, different charities and things like that. So, you know, I'm looking forward to building that relationship and, you know, with you, both of you, and hopefully get me down there to Freedom Jam and let us rock the stage.
Absolutely. That would be great. And then we'll talk. We'll talk. So I want to dig into you a little bit more. Okay.
Yep.
So, and I always have to kind of do, I just have a certain way of doing it. All right. So bear with me here. So this is where I go dirt digging. Sometimes I find some good dirt. Sometimes I don't. But unfortunately, I wasn't quite sure of how to get a hold of Courtney without you being in the chat. So I did not get a hold of her. But one thing I did find out that I found personally pretty interesting is you do spend some time in Missouri.
Yeah. So, well, I just had my first trip down there this here in December. I got invited down to be on a television show at the Branson Star Theater in Branson, Missouri. And Stevie Lee Woods down there, heck of a nice guy. He invited us down, and I went down there with Midwest Artist Group, who I'm a part of, with Jason Smith, and we and my buddy Sam L. Smith, and he's another artist. And you know, we got to perform an original song and a cover song on the show, and we're real excited, man. It's a nationally syndicated show called Nashville Roadhouse Live, and Stevie's doing some great things down there. And yeah, I got to meet some cool people. Tim Atwood, you know, he's like a Grand Ole Opry star, and I got to shoot the breeze with him and listen to his stories about Merle and Waylon and George Jones, and which was really, really cool for me. And it was a great experience, man.
Yeah, and they kind of set that up on kind of an Opry format almost, don't they?
They do. Yeah, absolutely. So that theater is almost like it's kind of like the outlaw country Opry. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know, back in the day, that's where, Merle and Waylon and Conway Twitty and George, they've all performed there. The grand ladies of country music still go down there and perform, and Jeannie Seeley, and so yeah, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get down there sometime because my wife's grandmother loved Jeannie Seeley, and we got a chance to meet her a few years back, and so and my wife knew her a little bit, from her grandmother playing her. So we're going to have to go down there and listen to her sometime when we can catch them down there. I looked today on their schedule to see kind of what they had coming up, and they didn't have a whole lot right now that, didn't have them on there for sure. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on that, and then we're going to have to take off and go to Branson. We got our grandkids not far from there, so we can visit the grandkids and do the grandparent thing, see the grandkids, and go to Branson and hang out at the shows.
Yep, absolutely. Well, make sure you hit up the Branson Star Theater, man.
Absolutely, yeah. We've never been to a show down there. I've always gone, and we've just kind of done the touristy thing or something like that. Silver Dollar City, those kind of things.
Oh yeah.
But we've always had a kid with us, or one of our grown children now. But last time we went, we had our youngest daughter with us.
Yeah,
and had to go to Silver Dollar. I mean, we went to Silver Dollar City.
There's a lot to do down there, man.
Man, there is. They just opened that big old amphitheater out there. Johnny Morris just put in that Garth Brooks christened, being the first artist to play there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did 2 nights on that stage, and it is huge.
Which one is that? Is that the Black Oak, or is that?
No, it's not. I don't think it's the Black Oak. This one just opened like October, I think. Okay. October, November, somewhere. I think it was October. And of course, Johnny Morris from Bass Pro Shop. Johnny owns Bass Pro, and so he put this thing in, and I think it's 50,000, something like that.
Oh wow!
It is huge.
Yeah.
And of course, if you've ever been to Branson, the traffic congestion is not any better when you go in there. We actually had people complaining that they missed the show because they were sitting in the traffic.
Yeah. Wow.
So Johnny's going to have to invest a little more money down there, but you ain't going to hurt him none.
Fortunately for us, it was off season, and traffic wasn't too bad. So.
Mm-hmm. So we've kind of covered. I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff, and talked about some of your music. And like I said, this is kind of the part where I delve in a little bit more. So I got another little thing in here that I got to do for you real quick, and then if I can remember which button it is, hopefully I don't hit the wrong one. If I do, I'll just cut it off. But there's another little thing I like to do here. So, and that ain't it. I knew I was gonna do that. that was me practicing my guitar playing.
There you go.
Yeah, the only thing I can pick is my nose. Trust me. Let's try this button, see if it works. There we go. This is my what the hell segment. I ask you off the wall questions that just kind of don't have much to do with anything, or they're a little, funny.
Okay.
One of the first ones I like to ask is, what's your most embarrassing stage moment?
Oh man, I got bit in the head by a horsefly in the middle of a song. And I stopped mid-song, and my wife was giving me this look the whole time. She saw it land on my head, and I'm looking at her like, "What are you looking at?" And sure enough, man, boom, it bit me. Yeah, I'd say that was definitely it.
Them things are ruthless too, man. They don't care.
Yeah.
They really do not care. Let's see here. What's your two favorite pizza toppings?
Pepperoni and cheese. That's it.
I can deal with that. You're a married man. So this is a question that I normally ask the married guys. And I'm going to explain why I asked this question here in a second. Do you leave the toilet seat up or do you put it down?
I say I put it down. Now, Courtney might give you another story, but I think I put it down.
Well, and I've gotten the habit of doing that because
yeah, exactly.
Brian said, "Yell, Dave." Yeah, if she did, he's going to ask her who the hell is she yelling at.
Right.
Yeah. I had to get trained on that because my wife got on to me one night. I guess there's nothing worse for a woman than getting up in the middle of the night and go in and use the bathroom and sit down and the seat ain't.
It only takes one or two times of that.
Yeah.
It's game over.
Yeah, exactly. But now here's my, when I was in college, I took philosophy class. So sometimes I think philosophical, not very often, but sometimes I do.
Okay.
If we have to put it down for them, why can't they put it up for us?
That's a good question, George.
She's about to jump on here, isn't she? I'm about to get myself into a whole heap of mess.
She's going to probably bust through this door in a minute. Watch. I'm with you, though, buddy.
I was talking earlier about song titles. I got a great parody song title. Well, actually, Brian came up with this, and I think it's pretty funny. Called Fishing in the Dark.
You're right.
That's the only thing you're getting credit for tonight, but you're out the rest of the time.
Oh, man.
So while we're on the whole bathroom thing, I'm really not obsessed with bathrooms. Okay. I have to tell you that. Even though you probably won't agree with me. So the age-old question, toilet paper, over or under?
Under. All day. Yeah.
All right. I'm see how many people Courtney.
Oh, Lord.
That's too funny.
I'm going to write a song called Leave It Up to You.
Jeff says, I've got the answer, but I can't answer it here.
Yeah, smart man.
Way to go, Jeff. Way to go. I think Courtney just mic dropped on that one, by the way.
Yeah, you know. It happens a time or two. I'll let her have her victory.
Yeah, there you go. What would you consider your spirit animal? I had to think of the right way to phrase that.
See that? Maybe. No, not so much. It's a wolf.
Okay. All right.
100% a wolf. You know, just everything that they just, you know, they're family oriented. They're, you know, they're superior,
Mm-hmm.
you know, predators, and you know, just the family orientation thing for me is big. So I would definitely say a wolf.
Right. That's good. I like that. Let me see here. Okay. This is one. I don't know if I have to reword this sometime or what, but if you just wanted to be funny and you're walking down the street and walk up on a stranger, what's the oddest thing that you would say to them?
Oh man. Honestly, and I'm guilty of this. I've kind of messed with people out of comedy with acting like I know them. Like, hey man, you know, how you been? They're
I
like,
love
well,
that.
and it's like, you know, yeah, I think, you know, it's been 5 years or so, you know, just kind of carry on a conversation with them. I've done that a time or two. So, but a specific thing to say to them, man, I don't know. Honestly, that's kind of, I don't know, hold my beer.
Yeah. There you go. And what makes it even better is when you don't have one.
Yeah, right.
Hold my beer. Keep on walking. Oh, I love it. I love it, man. Oh, so have you attended a lot of concerts of other people?
Yeah, I'd say I've been to my fair share.
What's the first concert you ever attended?
The first concert was probably the best concert I've ever been to, and that was in, I want to say it was 1997 or 98, and it was the Volunteer Jam in Columbus, and it was Molly Hatchet, Marshall Tucker Band, Hank Williams Jr. and Charlie Daniels, all on the same bill. So
Man,
that's by far the best show I've ever been to.
that's a show. Charlie Daniels made those volunteer jams. I mean, and they were his creation, but he just made them whenever he was there to perform.
Oh man, I'm telling you, and Hank headline, and I'm a Bo Cephas guy, but I'll tell you, Charlie puts on one hell of a show, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I miss him.
Fantastic.
That was a big loss.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. I just another one of those that were just, man, why?
Right.
Just why? Um, so when you're playing, what do you think is the perfect size crowd to play for you personally?
I'd say probably 200 to 300 people, and you still get that you know, that big roar from the crowd, but it's a little more intimate.
Right.
Which I play a venue in Columbus called Woodlands Tavern, and we got a show coming up in February there. And I love that venue, and that's exactly what it is. It's an intimate venue. It's up close and personal, and it holds right around, I'd say, that 300 mark. And so, yeah, I'd say 200 to 300.
All right. That's to me, I mean, that's a good sized crowd, you know. I mean, it's a comfortable crowd.
Right.
You know. You can get up into that, and you know, you can get past that, maybe 750, but when you get up into 1,000 plus, I mean, it's a lot more work, I think. I mean, not that I've ever played in front of 1,000 people, but I've been on
Right.
stage in front of 1,000 people before, and even more. But
Yeah.
so I can understand that when you're up on stage, a lot of times when you're playing at these, the honky tonks and stuff, you got to have a little stage beverage to get you through the night. What's your go-to
Yeah.
drink?
Todd, you want to answer that?
Come on, Todd, let us
Yeah,
know.
I always start the night off with water just to stay hydrated, but I always end up with wild turkey in my cup. So yeah, that's my go-to.
Little bourbon there, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Todd got it right. He's a little slow. Way to go, Todd.
He knows me. Half the time, he's the one bringing them to me. Here, man.
So you're the culprit.
Yeah.
Yes. Here's Jeff's answer. And 3
There
Rangers.
you go.
Yep,
Well, I'll
good job,
tell you
Jeff.
what. Yeah, I can't wait to get to try that stuff, man. I'm a
Oh,
bourbon
man.
guy, so and I love rye whiskey. So
Yeah, it's a good rye whiskey, man. Let me tell you, golly, it's good straight, and it's pretty good if you. I mean, there's only certain. I'd never mix it with a soft drink. People they do like
yeah,
bourbon and Coke or something like that.
right.
Why are you filing a bourbon with a freaking Coke?
Can't do it, man.
No, I can't either. I can do a good old fashioned, but no, can't do that.
Yeah.
But Jeff is, let me tell you a little story about Jeff. Jeff is, and I always get this wrong, but he heads up what is called, golly, Jeff, a flagman's mission. And they go around and they post out flags for, it could be a fallen soldier that they're bringing home, and they'll post flags up along the parade route, and it could be a parade, or it could be Memorial Day, and I know there's a long list of stuff, and Jeff's also a veteran, and there's a long list of stuff that they do, and I don't know all of the ins and outs, but I know a lot of what they do. 2 years ago, when we did Freedom Jam, not the one we just did, but the one before, there was a big field back behind. And when you were up on the stage, you'd look out over this field, and it was just a dirt field. And they posted, I want to say it was well over, I think it was 150 flags or something like that. And we're talking full size, 3 foot by 5 foot flags.
Yeah.
And when you're standing on that stage and you're looking at that, man alive, it is just an amazing sight.
I can imagine, yeah.
The sun going down, and we had a few pictures of the sun setting on them, and then at night with the lights on them, and oh my gosh, it was just so cool. So Jeff and his crew, they're all volunteers. They do a great job. And they're in St. Louis and Southern Illinois, up in that area where we do Freedom Jam a lot. They're all over that area.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. They go pretty much anywhere. They may have a certain area. So Jeff, if you do, let me know. But if any of you guys listening would want to help them out, they can use donations to replace the flags, because these guys are very much into that, and the flags get torn. They dispose of them the right way, like they're supposed to be disposed of, which is a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jeff and his guys are very versed in all that stuff, and they do a fantastic job.
Jeff, thank you for your service, brother, and everything you're doing. That's something that I hold, near and dear to my heart. And, you got to listen to a song earlier, George, that I wrote called Who I Am. And I can't wait to play that for you guys. But, that's, a lot of my family served and still serving. And, that's something that is very important to me. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm going to put Jeff's response up, because he put a response up about, let me go back up here and take that one off. I have to do some adjusting here, but he did put a response on how far out they are. So if any of you folks are within this area and you have need for something, just get a hold of Jeff Hastings. You can find him on Facebook. or under flagman's mission, but they're within a 400-mile radius of St. Louis. So they'll go basically from here, just dang near to Memphis.
Yeah.
And
That's
and just
awesome.
draw a circle from Memphis all the way, a perfect circle all the way around. You pretty much got it.
Wow.
And so they do a fantastic job at what they do. What do you feel like? He said 8 states, by the way, and they pay
Okay.
honor to fallen heroes. So 8 different states. When do you feel like what time do you feel like you were most creative? Like time of the day?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's kind of crazy because there's times I get up in the middle of the night with a pen and paper, and it's always laying in bed or like 2, 3 in the morning that I write my best stuff, and it always has been. And those are the songs that just kind of just kind of flow, and those are the best songs usually. But I would definitely say the middle of the night.
All right. I'm doing shameless plugs here for people, and I'm not going to apologize because they're all great people. Tyler Moody. Tyler's a friend of ours. He does IT work and has actually done some stuff for Freedom Jam, taking care of our website and stuff like that. But he's also works with a group called Forgotten Coast Canine, and they are out of Florida, and they train service dogs for veterans, with PST, and they'll do kind of like they do protection, and then they also do like the support dogs. And it is a fantastic organization. You can look them up online because I don't have all the info here. If I went over all these organizations, as much as I love them, I would never have a show, or it'd be 4 hours long. Because there's so much detailed, but Forgotten Coast, I'm going to get comfortable here. Forgotten Coast Canine, they do such a fantastic job. Our show last year, they stepped up, and we had 2 veterans that we had discussed that they presented the certificate to take the training, because they don't just train the dog and give it to you. They train the handler as well, or the recipient. And so they train you to handle the dog, and then they also train some of these guys to train dogs and make it a business, which is great for if you've got a veteran with PST that they can't, or PTS. They've dropped the D off of that, so it's PTS.
Okay.
But they train them to use that for a business, so they can train dogs and make a business out of it.
That's awesome, man. Because
some of these guys, they can't go into a factory. They can't work out in the public, be it noises, or they don't want to be around people or whatever. So they give them a lot of tools.
Yeah.
So I think that is super awesome. ForgottenCoastCanine.org. That's where you need to go. Chris O'Brien is the CEO and the sorry for the pun, Tyler, the top dog down there.
Well, Tyler, thank you, man. Thank you for that.
And
That's
Tyler's
awesome.
is a veteran as well. Tyler, I'm not even going to the branch because I know I'll blow it, bro.
Well, thank you for your service, Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a good guy. He's a cool guy. If I got an IT problem, I call Tyler, and he'll generally answer my question, or he'll tell me I ain't got time for you. He was a Marine. Yeah, okay. I knew that.
All right.
I knew
awesome.
That. You're absolutely welcome, sir. Bob Quinn says he's been watching, by the way. He didn't forget you.
Love you, Bob. Thanks, brother. That's my guy, man.
And Brian says, and it's true. That's kind of what Freedom Jam's all about, is just helping, veterans and stuff. And he says that's what Freedom Jam's all about. And why Dan or Dave or whoever the heck he is, his heart attracted. He didn't say that last part. I just threw that in, but the way he put it, and why Dan or Dave's heart attracted us.
Well, you guys, it's my kind of people, man. I'm all about that stuff. So, I would love to meet all these guys and become part of that family.
Oh man, it's they are awesome. They are awesome. The Three Rangers guys are super cool. Tyler's a part of no, take that back. I'm getting all these guys confused. I have so many of them that I have to consider. I started to throw
Yeah.
Tyler and they were the Three Rangers guys. Sorry, Tyler, didn't mean to do that. I know they are Army. So I'm about to get a dirty text message here. I'm gonna take don't lump me in with those guys. No, I'm just kidding. They got along great and they all had a good time. A couple more quick questions. Brian, you need to hang up the Three Rangers, bro. He sounded like a Pentecost preacher here. He says, talking about Tyler, and he says he likes Three Ranger. That's the way the Pentecostal preachers do. They finish everything with the uhs. That's when you know the service is going great.
Brian might be feeling good by this point.
Yeah, I don't know how much Three Ranger he's had, but it's already too many. So let me see here. I had a question for you. Ask you that one. I just saw one on here that I really like to ask. Maybe I'm too far down on my list. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. If you could collaborate with a current, we'll move you up into the current artist. If you could collaborate with a current artist, who would it be?
A current artist?
Yeah.
Oh man. When we didn't really touch on this, I didn't really talk about, I grew up listening to bluegrass music too. I have a big bluegrass influence, and I'm loving what Billy Strings is doing. I don't know if you're familiar with Billy, but I tell you what, man, I think a collaboration with Billy Strings would be pretty badass. So
yeah, it would be. And I got to tell you, I wasn't until I had a lot of country artists talking about Billy Strings, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to check him out. And I apologize, but I really got to like him.
yeah, he's real good, man. I love his stuff.
He is something else. Now, I don't want to insult you in any way, but I want to ask this question because today in the music industry, it's social media is such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
How do you find, or what route do you feel is the easiest to expand your fan base with social media?
You mean what? Which social media?
Yeah, that and just kind of what you do. Do you just
Yeah, so it's I've learned with it's all about content and what you're putting out, and if it's stuff that people can relate to, they're going to follow you. And it's funny because my Instagram, excuse me, I had my daughters sing on stage, and I posted a couple videos of them singing, and they've blown up. I mean, one of them's got almost 400,000 views, and
wow.
The other one's up to almost 300,000. And they're both really great singers, and I've had a lot of people reaching out with interest in them, and if they're going to perform. And it's one of those things that I've talked to them. And, my one daughter's pretty dead set on a career and sports medicine, like physical therapy and going to school. And, so I don't think music is the route she's wanting to take, but yeah, it's all about that kind of content that people can relate to, and gaining followers that way, and always putting out new music and new stuff for people to listen to.
Do you find a difficulty in some of that because of again, not meaning to insult you because I'm the same way. I mean, I'm older than you are. Um, so do you find that it's harder to do that because of the age, or do you feel like that you come in at a time where, you're kind of getting your foot in the door with a lot of this stuff? Not like these 20 somethings. They're taught this stuff in
Yeah.
college these days.
Right. Yeah. And social media is a young person's game, and it has been a difficult road, being 39, almost in my 40s. And, there's a lot of young people on social media, and a lot of them into the new sound and, that kind of thing. And, but I would say, yes, it's been somewhat difficult. But I've seen, different things grow now, and starting to learn kind of what to put out, when to put it out, what kind of content to use. And like I said, having my daughters on there has really helped out a lot too. So, a lot of the young people, they can relate to them. And so, but yeah, to answer to your question, yeah, it's definitely been difficult up to this point.
I think the perfect thing that you pointed out was having the young people on there, because it is difficult. And plus the fact that if it's a daughter or a son, if I can say that correctly at all, my mouth just decided to lock up there. If it's a daughter or son, the nice thing is they generally work for free.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So Jeff kind of joined us a little late, but he had this question. So I'm going to let you answer that again. What old school music do you prefer?
Oh man, I'm, like I said, I grew up listening to Hank Williams Sr. And to this day, there's nothing better than listening to some Hank. And but I'm big into the outlaw era, Waylon Jennings, Burl Haggard, George Jones, Johnny Cash, Christopherson, the Highwaymen, and all of those. I'd say the 70s, era is really what I listen to, mostly 70s and 80s. Keith Whitley, that kind of stuff.
Well, that's whoops, didn't mean to do that. I thought I changed that a while ago and it didn't save it. Doggone it. So you're going to have to give them your website here, but just kind of tell them where they can find you, website, socials, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. Just kind of give them your handles.
Yeah. So I'm on Facebook under Dan Wallace Music. You can find my Instagram. It's at Dan Wallace Music. I have a website. It's www.dwcountry.com. And all of my music is on all the major, streaming platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, all that good stuff, whatever you prefer to use. So yeah, those are the best places to find me. On Twitter, it's at Dan Wallace Music, and also on TikTok, which no, I don't dance, but it's just a good platform to put stuff out, and it's also at Dan Wallace Music. So that's where you can find me.
All right. And also have a note here. You're going to be taking over. If you folks don't follow Freedom Jam USA's Facebook page, you need to go over there and do it, because I'm guessing this is confirmed, or Brian again is drank way too much Three Rangers for the night, and that you're going to be taking over our Freedom Jam Facebook page pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to set a date with Brian, and I'll be doing a Facebook Live acoustic show on there. So once I get with Brian and set a date on that, we'll let everybody know.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck getting a date set.
Yeah. Probably won't be tonight. He's had too much Three Rangers whiskey. So.
Yep. He's had way too much of that Three Rangers. Did it again. I can't remember which one it is here. Here it is. There we go.
There it is.
I got to find, but I've got too many buttons on here. I feel like I'm in the studio sometimes.
Yeah.
In the radio studio. So, I was gonna look at. Let me see here. Hang on. Let's go back over here because I always like to look and see um, events. Let's see what you got going on. Do you have anything coming up anytime soon?
Yeah. I'm playing tomorrow night. I'm playing an acoustic show at a place called Squeaks in Pickerington, Ohio. And then the following week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks after that, I'll be at in Miamisburg, Ohio, playing at a place called Good Time Charlie's, and that'll be an acoustic duo show. And then we got our first full band show of the year coming up in February 25th. That'll be at Woodlands Tavern in Columbus, which that's going to be one hell of a show. So we're selling tickets for that right now, and that's going really well. And I think it's going to be a pretty big crowd for that one.
Good deal. I always like to hear that. When you're going to a place, and I'm guessing, have you played there before?
I have. Yep. This will be, I think, our fourth time playing there.
So that's always good because you're going to have a good crowd, and I like that.
Oh yeah.
I miss this. I miss this bad. If you have a date with Brian, wear a dress.
I think Brian will be the one wearing the dress, man.
Oh, wow.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get that one on that. That's woo, mercy. We'll throw the laugh track in there for that one.
There you go.
So Carla says she's going to see you at the Woodlands Tavern, and
awesome.
I hope you all have enjoyed tonight, and I never apologize for. Usually, I try to keep them within an hour, simply to give the person on the other side a little respect. But I'm not going to, and I don't apologize if I go over. So I'm not apologizing tonight. Y'all just enjoyed a good time. So you guys be sure to go check Dan out on all of the streaming platforms and check out his website, read up about him, and find out more. The complete EP is out now, right? I-65 is out on all the streaming. Then he's got some other stuff he's working on, and he is an independent artist. And as I always tell you folks, if you get an opportunity to go see him, always, they'll say it during their show, and I'll say it now. Be sure to tip them and show them some love, and same way with all the other staff that's working there, because they're there for your enjoyment, and it just helps them out. Because independent artists, they're doing it the right way, but still, it's a struggle. So you guys go out and see them. Get your tickets for that show, because you did say it was a ticketed show, right?
It is, yes, sir.
So get your tickets for that show. And again, that's going to be at Woodlands Tavern. So Dan, buddy, thanks a lot for coming on. It's just been a blast. I've loved having you on and chatting with you and getting to know you, and feel like we've had a good evening.
I appreciate it, man. If you don't mind, I want to just thank a couple people, man.
Sure.
I'd like to thank my sponsor, Buckeye Vodka, and my team, my manager, Rob, manager Jason, and then my business partner Jimmy. So I just want to say thanks to all them and my whole team and everybody that comes out and supports us. So I appreciate it.
All right. Well, there you go. And Bob says it's good to see you. So
thanks, Bobo.
So y'all have a great night, and enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back on Monday with another show. And just keep an eye out on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll let you know who it is. All right. So until then, y'all take care. And of course, I got it on the wrong kind of picking buttons again. Man, gets me every time. Let's try that one more time.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow b4Nashville on all social media and listen wherever you get your podcast. Tune in again for another country star of tomorrow on b4Nashville with George Davis. I'm Kevin Casey on behalf of Worldwide Fans. Have a great night.